Evening. Today is Monday, Labor Day, September 1st, 2025. And as always, I am Addy here on my own stream. So, of course, I am Addy here on my own stream. I've already said that twice. And I have made sure that the microphone is actually on because it would not be the first time that I was speaking into a microphone that was not working for the past 15 minutes. So I hope everybody is having a wonderful, awesome Labor Day weekend. I personally, I've had better Labor Day weekends, but it's all right because you know what? Tomorrow is another day. But also the weather, I gotta say, I when I left the country, I might have talked about this on the last stream, so forgive me. But when I left mostly to escape summer, or at least the worst part of the summer. And so far, my timing in this particular year, it couldn't have been better. It could not have been better because since I have gotten back, it has been 70s, which personally, it could be a little cooler for my taste, but I'll take 70s. But the important thing is it has not been humid. There has been literally no humidity. Well, okay, not quite literally, but there has been very, very, very little humidity. Whereas a typical Washington, D.C. summer the worst of it starts in April. It can start as early as April. It can even start as early as late March, where you get those. It doesn't even have to be that hot. You just get those like low 80s and humid days, and they're terrible. I would take a low humidity 90s over a high humidity 80s every day of the week. But those 80-degree humid days can start as early as March. Generally, they start around April, and they'll often go into October. But I believe the worst of it is over, because when you get into July and August, like July in Washington, D.C., 95 and humid. 95 and humid constantly. It doesn't matter. 95 and humid. And it's not like you get a break from it at night either, because it'll go down to like 80 and humid. So you have 80 and humid in the middle of the night. All right, I was just checking to see if my dog was behind me, but I hope you guys are doing all right. Not Sure is in the house. He says, hola. The humidity was crazy when I came back at the end of July. Yeah, I'm sure. And that is why I waited until the end of August to come back. Not Sure says, I love Vegas. I could live there, mostly because there's no pollen in Vegas. You know, I've done a bit of traveling. You know, check out my travel channel, Addy Goes Places. But I've done a bit of traveling. And I've done a fair amount of traveling across the United States as well, but I have never been to Vegas. Never. Hold on one sec, guys. Hold on. All right, hold on. Okay. I just wanted to open that window. But no, I've never been to Vegas. So my plan is what I would like to do when I kind of get the international traveling out of my system. What I would like to do is I would like to my dream is I have a like 50 to 70 pound dog. So not a huge dog, but not a small dog. So I have I love my little dog, but come here, boy. Come here. Why are you looking at me like that? All right, he's over there. I love this little idiot, but I wouldn't mind a bigger dog, but the dream is to me and this new dog. I love you, boy. Don't be jealous. Me and this new dog, I would take my wife's CRV, and I would trade it in probably for a new CRV, and I would take the new CRV and the dog on a road trip from here in the Washington, D.C. area to Alaska and back. So that's the dream. And then but I would spend like 2-3 months doing that road trip and like going and stopping in a city, staying there for a few days, going, stopping. That's the dream. That's what I would love to do. And in a trip like that, I would see Vegas. I would. The only thing I don't like about that trip is that there's only really one road that gets you to Alaska on the road, right? and that's of course the Alaskan Highway. But there are multiple ways. Like in British Columbia, there are a few different ways. There's like 2 different routes you can take. So I would take one up. Let me see if I can get to not traffic. Oh, come on. But once you get into the Yukon territory, there's basically just one road you can take to Alaska and back. But I would love to do. I dream of that trip. I dream of like starting here in Washington D.C., going up through the northern Panhandle of Michigan, up through the Dakotas, going into Canada somewhere around Montana, maybe even Idaho. And then because there is this part of Idaho I really want to see. It's called Coeur d'Alene, this little town right here. I've always wanted to see Coeur d'Alene. Supposedly it's very beautiful, very mountainous and beautiful. And this part of Idaho, like up by Bonners Ferry, this part of Idaho kind of intrigues me because it's this beautiful, picturesque, mountainous area. Well, from what I have seen. And it just seems like this really beautiful little part of Idaho up in the northern Panhandle. I mean, look at that. That's gorgeous. Well, I mean, this is gorgeous. This is beautiful. So but there's lots of places I want to see. And of course, I said when the international traveling bug gets out of my system, but like, is that ever going to happen? I mean, am I going to be like, okay, I've run out of places outside of the United States that I want to go, so I'm going to start I don't know. And my mother's constantly like, maybe you should spend some time seeing America. And it's like, okay, Mom. Okay. All right. I want to. I do want to see more of America. But, I also want to see New Zealand. I also want to see Antarctica. I mean, look how big it is on this map. Anyway, guys, enough talk about traveling and about maps. I could look at maps all day long. Let's talk about you. How are you doing? Okay. I mean, this isn't a two-way communication, so I don't know if you said anything. All right. So I was rethinking. I spent some time, not a ton of time. Yes, you not sure. How are you doing? Not sure. Let us know. How are you doing? Tell us your feelings. We'll wait. We're waiting for Not Sure to tell us how he's doing. He says he needs a job. You just went to Italy. So apparently you don't need a job. If you're traveling to Italy, I don't think you need a job. Doesn't sound like you need a job. Are your bills getting paid? Somehow you're making ends meet. So, I may have talked about this on stream before, but I remember back in 2010, early 2010, I got laid off from America Online. And, so I got, but I was also going I was like at the end of my cancer treatment in early 2010 as well. And so I get laid off, but my girlfriend, she had just moved in. The plan was she was going to move in. So she moves in, and then my buddy, longtime friend, he needed a place to stay. So he moved in. So now suddenly normally I was in a 3-bedroom house by myself, which was nice, but suddenly I was sharing my 3-bedroom house with two and a half other people because the girlfriend had a daughter who was with us part-time, or half the time. Like the daughter was with her dad half time and with her mom half the time. So the daughter was with us half the time. So anyway, but I was getting unemployment, and because I know some people, they'll get laid off and they're like, I don't want to collect unemployment. It's like, no, collect unemployment. You pay into the system. It's unemployment insurance, which means you pay into the system in order so that when you need it, you can get it. So pay into it. If you get unemployment. Absolutely. Even if it's just, I think unemployment in Virginia is ridiculously low. I think it's like $200-$300 a week, which is nothing, but whatever. Take it, get it. You deserve it. So I was getting unemployment, but this was in Maryland. So it wasn't bad, but the girlfriend was giving me money. The buddy was giving me money, and I had signed up for like every program I could. Like I didn't I got some grant or something that paid my gas bill for like 5 years. Like I didn't pay a single gas bill, because gas was with heating. I didn't pay a single gas bill for literally like 5 years. Whatever this grant or whatever the thing was, I still don't know what it was. So the point is like for like 9 months, I didn't have a job, but my bills were getting paid. Like I wasn't delinquent on anything. I wasn't behind in anything. Everything was up to date. Everything was being paid. Granted, I couldn't just take a last minute trip to Tahiti like I sometimes do now, but everything was getting paid and I didn't have a job. And it was like, and it got to a point, and this was back in 2010, so I don't even know what it's like nowadays, but it got to a point where I was like, do I really want a job? Like, do I really want one? Because everything's just kind of like everything's just getting paid, right? And so eventually I got a job because I realized I liked money. And so but I just remember that those 9 months, I had kind of reached a point where I was kind of complacent, just being able to survive with minimal, even though everything was like, nothing was delinquent, nothing. But it was funny because I still to this day do not know what that thing was that paid my gas bill for nearly 5 years. Because even after I got a job, obviously I stopped collecting unemployment, but I would get a gas bill and it would say gas bill $120. And then it had like, in the parentheses, negative $120, total due $0. Okay, that's good with me. I still don't know what that was. Not sure says, yeah, it's not a lot. It's $400 a week. Yeah, $400 a week is not a lot. That's wow. That's $1,600 a month. Yeah, in Virginia, especially in Northern Virginia. Yeah, good luck with that. $16. Whoa, oh, yeah. No, if I lost my job now, I don't want to think about that. But I will say that the company I worked for, or the company I work for, they had layoffs, like big layoffs back in January and then big layoffs again in March. And so these are some of these people I'd worked with for over 10 years. And I don't have LinkedIn myself, but I found a lot of them on LinkedIn through like, I have a fake LinkedIn account. But so I've been like kind of like not stalking, but you know what I mean by e-stalking. Like we all have that like ex-girlfriend or ex-boyfriend or whatever that we like, oh, I wonder how Susie's doing these days. And then you go and you look at her Facebook or her LinkedIn or her Twitter or her Instagram or whatever it is. And so a lot of these people, I'll look at their LinkedIn and I have noticed that they're finding gradually more and more of them are getting jobs. And it seems that like the average amount of time for them to get a job is about 3 or 4 months, which isn't terrible. That's not bad. Actually, I'm off screen. I'm not going to do this on screen because that would be a little disrespectful. But there's a couple people I'm curious about now while I'm thinking of it. Like this person who I know you can't see. Does she have a job yet? No. Okay. Well, it still says that she hasn't updated it. We'll put it that way. If she has a new job, she has not updated it. Okay, there's one other person I want to look at. It's this guy named Mark. I'm not going to say his last name for obvious reasons. Mark was this like young programmer guy, and like I tried to boost his confidence because he was a kind of, I don't want to say an insecure guy, but he was just a young guy. He was just a young guy, not too sure of himself. So I always tried to encourage him and like try to tell him he was doing a good job when he was doing a good job, or try to give him constructive criticism when he needed it. And I've really been, he still hasn't updated his LinkedIn. All right. So, all right. Come on, Mark, you can do it. I know Mark can do it. So that's good. And then there's one other, no, wait, okay. No. I know this is not very interesting for you guys, but I don't care. Okay, this is one other guy right here. Let me see. No, he hasn't updated his LinkedIn. So there was this one guy who he told me he was like, I'm probably going to retire at the end of the year, which was this year. Like at the end of this year, he's like, because he was an older guy, he was in his 60s, but a really smart guy. Like still like because like programmers, like by the time you're 30 as a programmer, you're a dinosaur, but that's not so true, really. I mean, it's just kind of the stereotype. But this guy was like, I mean, he was like retirement age, really sharp, newest technology, still had really good ideas. And, but he tells me, he's like, I'm probably going to retire at the end of the year. I'm like, oh, okay. And then he gets laid off in January. Was it January or March? Because there were 2 rounds. And so I'm like, do I feel bad for him or not? Like, I can't decide if I should feel bad for him or not. But I see that. So I don't know if like his LinkedIn still says he works for my company, but I don't know if it's worth. Like if I was him, do you bother looking for another job? Like I don't know. Let's see. Not Sure says I applied to USPTO. It's a 10-week process. The United States Postal Temporary Office. Postal. I interviewed with Amazon. That was help. No, thank you. No, no. I would not want to work for Amazon. No. I would not work for Amazon. I would not work for an Elon Musk company. No. Absolutely not. No. I'd work for Microsoft. Sure. But Amazon, no thank you. Tesla, no thank you. SpaceX, no thank you. It's like, ugh. Is that retiree guy named Marty? No, he's not. His name is Scott. Really sharp guy. Like, I mean, because you would think that, like, as you get older, I mean, like, I wonder this about myself, that now that I'm in my 50s, I'm like, how sharp am I on the current technology? And honestly, I feel like I'm still pretty current. Like, what's the main thing nowadays is you got to use AI, and everybody's using AI. So of course I use AI. So I don't know. I mean, but like Scott was like, he was a very, very like sharp guy, really knew. He was a good programmer too. Now, yeah, no, I know a really good older programmer. He windsurfs in remote programs. And that sounds like a good life. That does not sound like a bad life. It really doesn't. No, I'm just, I've been doing a lot of thinking. A lot of thinking. I mean, well, I'm human, so who doesn't think? No, I've just been doing a lot of retrospection, maybe introspection. I don't know. Like, what? I'm 50 years old, so if I'm lucky, I have a good 25 years left, maybe 30 if I'm really lucky, right? Maybe a little bit more, but let's be realistic. Probably 25 is probably the upper echelon. Although my dad is 75 and he still goes to work. He still plays. He used to play tennis. Now he's playing pickleball. But because I guess pickleball is a little easier on the knees and everything. But so he still has a good. My father has a perfectly fine quality of life. So I use that as a benchmark as to like what I could be when I'm 75 years old. And it's not a bad life, but I've been thinking like, what do I want? I don't know. Why do I travel so much? Like really, why do I travel so much? Is it really because I want to see the world, which is part of it? Or is it that I'm running from something? Maybe. Like sometimes I think about that. Like I got home and I've been home now I got home on Thursday. Today's Monday. And I don't know. Like, do I like it here? I think I do. But it's I don't know, man. I think I feel a little stagnant when I'm here. I think I feel that like the amount of time I have left to do the things I want to do is running out. And it's running out. And if I don't do them, then it's gone. So but I feel like if I'm just sitting here and I'm just going to work every day, then I'm just wasting that time. I don't know. Or basically surf says not sure. Yeah, kind of, but it's okay. Surfs can have good lives. You need to own something. I own stuff. I mean, I like what? Like I own 2 homes, a car, a stinky dog. I don't know. I mean, I kind of would like to start a business, but then the problem is like, well, what kind of business do I want to start? Like I like my temporal file storage idea, but is that a business or is that just a feature of Google Drive? Like, is that its own business? I don't know. Not sure says, I lived in Colorado, much nicer. Colorado is nice. I've been to Colorado a few times. There was this one part of Colorado. So the first time I went to Colorado was with my wife, and I tortured her. Figuratively, okay, before you go calling the police, and like, it was figuratively, all right, not literally. I didn't literally like waterboard my wife or anything, okay? Just calm down. But, when we got I tortured her because when I do like a day trip, like a day road trip, like I will drive. I'll drive and I'll stop and I do a lot of, like, it doesn't bother me. And so what happened was we had like one day and we landed in Denver. And then I guess we drove up 25 to Cheyenne and we had lunch in Cheyenne, and then we went over, and then I think it was this road down here, right here on this side, which is nothing but just like desolate ranches. It's just emptiness. And at one point, it's like one of those stretches of road where at some point it says something like next gas station 80 miles. And like, wow, like you're really in the middle of nowhere. And there were just these huge ranches just in this part. I think this is it. I mean, that's not going to be really helpful. But then, so that part was really interesting. But then we kind of cut over, and then there was a town. It wasn't Boulder, Estes Park. This was a really, really funky little mountain town, like, which just seemed really awesome. Colorado is nice. I do like Colorado. I hated Seattle. Never saw the sun for 3 months. I've been to Seattle a couple times. It's okay. It's nothing special. It's okay. The coolest thing about Seattle was going up to Point Roberts right here. I wish I had been doing my YouTube channel when I went to Point Roberts, because I like the whole reason that I started my travel channel was to just document these places I had been to, and just like, yep, I was here. I don't even think I have so much as a picture from Point Roberts. So, and I was tempted to just load up like Google Photos and start scrolling through them to look through, but no, we will not be doing that. No. All right, boys. All right, that's enough for this talk, but I think I need to. I think there's this. You ever seen the movie Run Lola Run? So Run Lola Run is this great movie. Came out in the late 90s, and it's basically the same story told 3 times with slightly different variations. And so there's this, so it's about this woman and her boyfriend. The boyfriend gets into some trouble, and the boyfriend needs some money. And then so she has to help him find money. And then so each different story, or it's the same story, but each time that the events happen, something changes ever so slightly, which changes the entire outcome. And so there's 3 different variations. And then between each variation, there's like these, I'm just going to show one. I'm going to show one. There's no nudity in it. Okay. But it's Monty Lola Bed. See if I can. Is it any of these? But they're okay. Is this it? Okay, this might be it. Okay, you know what? Actually, both of these are really great, and I don't know if I'm going to get a copyright strike for this, but I'm going to show it anyway because they're both amazing. So I'm going to show this one. So okay, so to give a little backstory of what we're watching here, this is Monty. That's the boyfriend who needs the money, and then obviously this is Lola, the girl who's the subject of the film. And like I said, each of these three different scenarios. In between each one, there's a little like retrospective of just showing them in bed and they have a conversation, and it's kind of related to the story and kind of, but anyway, but I don't think, no, this isn't the one because there's one where, see how her arm is under Monty? I've watched this movie a ton of times. I've watched this movie so many times. So it's one of my favorite movies. So her arm is under his head. So, and that's the one where she is comforting him. And then there's another one where he is comforting her. And the one I'm thinking of is where he is comforting her, but this is the other one. But we're going to watch it anyway because, well, why not? Why not show copyright material? You know what? Maybe I shouldn't. It's in German, by the way. Okay, never mind. This is terrible. This is a bad idea. This is not the one I wanted to show, though. This is let me see if I can find the one that I wanted to show. No. But anyway, the whole point is where she's asking him questions, and oh God, I'm not making any sense. But he says something like, "Do you want to leave me?" And she says, "I don't know. I just have a choice to make." Something like that. And that's kind of how I feel with things, like everything right now. Like I don't know. I have a choice I need to make. This is a great, fantastic movie. If you have not watched this movie, you need to go watch this movie. Monty, Lola, bed, scene. I know they're both on here. I mean, well, they used to be. I've watched both. Like, there's two of them when they're in bed. Let me just do this. I'm just going to look for this for a minute. No, it's the same one. What would you? This actually is funny. The what would you do if I died? And then he's like, well, you because he's asking her like, what would you do if I died? And she's like, well, I would mourn you. And he's like, yeah, but then what would you do? And she's like, well, I would cry. And then like, well, then what would you do? And then she's like, I don't know. What do you want to hear? And he's like, well, I know what would happen. You would get all the attention in the world, and you would soak it up, and you would be sad for a little while. And then some guy with green eyes would come along, and you would hop on his lap and forget about me. And then she's like, Monty, you're not dead yet. That's a great scene. But the other one is the other one I was talking about. Anyway, watch this movie. I highly recommend. You know what? Let's just watch it now on the stream. No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. That actually would be. I'm pretty sure that would be a copyright strike if I showed the whole movie. It's all right, buddy. Happens to the best of us. What is this? See what happens when I'm not around. It's real good. Oh, so what happened? Yeah, for a half hour. I think for a half hour I was talking, and there was no for a full half hour I was talking. Okay. Let's do some programming. How about it, boys? Okay. All right. We're going to I think you have an urge to build something. I always have an urge to build something. Like this video game that we're going to build, right? 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 Isn't he so cute? What is it, handsome? What is it, handsome boy? All right, let's just do this. Let's just do it. Let's fuck it. You know what? Because you know what? I'm going to just like blow up everything. I'm going to move to Africa. I'm going to live in a hut outside of Cape Town. I'm going to go live in the townships. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to sell everything, go spend the rest of my days in the townships of Cape Town. No, better yet, I'm going to spend my days in the townships of Johannesburg. No. Okay. All right. Let's stay focused. Okay. So what we need to do is we need to rework the entire, well, there's not a lot. I mean, there's some stuff to do. So I was over engineering the entire item portion of this game, right? And so what I narrowed it down to, was these things, right? With it, every item, and now I can equip the item sometimes, right? Like equip, I should say bull, or equip item. I don't know. Okay. I can store the item, which means put it in my inventory. So I can use the item, I can drop the item, and we'll get back to use in a second. Or I can throw the item, or I can wield the item, or attack with the item, right? And now I'm not going to be able to do all of these things with everything. So what I had added to the game, for example, was a computer. Right? So let's I'll show you what I did today when I was completely distracted. Okay. So, all right. Thank you. So there's a computer over here, right? Now it doesn't do anything, but the point is this is a good example. This and then the gun. Okay. Now. Okay. So obviously the gun, where'd my thing go? Obviously the gun I can equip, right? Because I picked it up and I can shoot it. The computer I cannot equip. That is a desktop computer. I am not going to pick it up. I cannot store the computer, but I can store the gun. I can use both of them. Oh, actually, that's a good point. This is why I do this, because I'm thinking out loud. Does it make sense? I can use the computer, but can I use the gun? Because I have wield. Am I using wield correctly? Define wield. Hold and use a weapon or tool. Wield, to hold a weapon and look as if you're going to use it. Okay. Well, all right, it doesn't matter. I don't need to get bogged down in definitions. All right. So, but it is interesting how use and wield, they may be the same thing. Okay. We'll come up with some concrete examples in a minute. I can drop the item and I can throw the item. I think those are pretty self-explanatory. Right. And then what I have down here on the bottom part is kind of this state of things. Right. I tried to get a little more detailed. So with a player, well, obviously the player, I can equip an item. And when it's equipped, I can store, drop, throw, wield, or use it. And then, but I can also use one without equipping it. Right. Like the computer, I can use without equipping it. Oh, shit. Die. Okay. So, when would you... No, I think that's fair. Because think about like a cell phone, right? I can use a cell phone. But... And I can also attack with those cell phones. So I do think they need to be separate items. Okay. All right. So that's good. And then what I did also was... First of all, a lot of this has been trying to remember how I had written this program, right? So there's a lot of like, oh yeah, I did that too. Oh yeah. So I feel like I still need like another day of just kind of reacclimating myself to everything. So I added a bunch of Booleans to everything to say, is it equipable? Is it storable? Right? Because like the computer, it's obviously not equipable. It's not storable, but it is usable. It's not droppable. It's not throwable, and it's not wieldable. A knife would be all of these things. Or would it? Would a knife be usable? I mean, I guess to cut meat. I'm going to stick with this. Boys. I'm going to stick with this. Okay, so what does that mean? I don't know. What I would like to do, I think what we should do, we drop this. How do I thought I had a cheat where I can, okay. All right. What I would like to do is have this have an overlay that says use. And then I press whatever button it is to use. I guess obviously it could be the same as this, right? It could be, that's odd. Interactions. Okay. Basically, I think we need to gut out the interaction code that I originally wrote and then kind of put something else in. I think that's what we need to do. So we could either work on that, or we could work, I'm going to leave this up to not sure. So we can either work on the usable portion of the computer, making the computer usable, but not just making the computer usable. This would be adding functionality to make things usable, right? So we have a computer, we have a doorbell, we have a cell phone, whatever it is, right? So we can work on that, changing the item interaction functionality. We could change that. Or the other thing we could work on tonight, and again, I'm going to leave this up to not sure, is we could work on having these guys, the NPCs, when I shoot them, we could work on having them attack back. Because right now they're just like, oh, la, 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 la. I think we should work on the story. No, we're not working on the story. Why are we not working on the story? Because I spent the past 2 months working on the story. That's all we're doing. Like how the game gets played. Oh, okay. Well, maybe that's a different story. So, how the game gets... That was weird. Not sure says, I want to do some whiteboarding. Okay. So here is the thing. Here's the thing. I'm completely distracted. Okay, you want to do some whiteboarding. All right. Well, you racist. Okay. We can work on the story. Luan, we're going to work on the story, Luan. Why don't you sit over here? All right. I gotta check the camera to see if you can see it. Ugh. Okay. Ugh. Okay. All right. Ugh. Move on. Stop it, Luan. Okay. Whiteboarding. Are you happy now? Are you happy? Not sure? Are you happy? We're gonna whiteboard this. We're gonna whiteboard the F out of this. MS Paint works too. I brought these things home to use them. I didn't bring them home for... Why am I looking over here? I'm looking over here because that's where Not Sure's messages are. Because it's like I'm looking over here. It's like I'm talking directly to Not Sure. No, I brought these home to use them. All right. My dog has decided he's out of here. He's like, I don't want any part of this. Okay. All right. How the game gets played. I need a black marker. Okay. Hopefully. Let me see. Wait. I gotta get the camera back. Okay. Let me see. Okay. So right about at the top. That's about where you can see. I'm trying. Okay. Perfect. Here we go. Alrighty. What happened to the whiteboard camera? Oh, Jesus. Don't you know I was gone for 2 months? Okay, let's see. Here's the whiteboard camera. Maybe we can bring that back. Let's see. Wait a minute. Which camera is which? Okay. There we go. Okay. Okay. How the game gets played. How does the game get played? Okay, first of all, you gotta get the safety. What's happening is there's an island, and you got buildings on the island, and then bad people have come to the island, and they're attacking, and then you, a player, you're in green for some reason. You gotta maybe. So what I was thinking was, here's the island, and then there's a boat because there's another. I didn't quite work on the story for the game, but I worked on the world because for 2 months I didn't program. Well, I didn't program this. But it was like I wanted to work on something, but I couldn't get into programming on my laptop. That was the problem. I could not get into programming on my laptop for the game. So I was like, oh, I'll just work on building the world. So I did that for a lot. Okay. All right, I think that's good. Okay. So there's this island, and then there's another island down here to the south. So I'm thinking. But the bad guys are actually coming from the south. And then there's a big land over here. There's big land over here. I think the game has to end by you just getting on a boat and heading east. Like literally, I think that's how the game ends. Like that's how you win. You escape with your family on a boat that heads east. And then there could be a sequel, right? Like, you know, in 50 years when we finish this, there could be a sequel to like what happens after you get on the boat. So that's the story. Okay. So I know what you're talking about though. Okay, what are the mechanics? What are the so it's like honestly, what are the obstacles? Like honestly, I think a lot of it So, one thing, the components of a good video game, from what I've read, you have 3 components. Oh, this is still wet. Right? You have story. You have mechanic, and you have setting. So you want to have at least one of those be compelling, and then so like the mechanic. I think the mechanic. Oh, that was the other thing I came up with while I was away. So I started. Do I have it? Did I check it in? Let me see if I checked it in. So I started building a again, I don't want to get too in the weeds with this, but I started building and I'm going to say a term. Wait, where am I looking? Okay. I'm going to say a term and do not react because this will not be in the game. It will not be part of the game. I'm going to say something and you're going to be like, so don't react. It's not in the game. But I started developing, again, do not react. Do not react. I started developing a scripting language. But because what I envision for, you know, the mechanic where we tell the guy to go out, like I envision like a whole, maybe that's what we should build. But I envision like this whole like, tell him to go over there. Like let's think of a simple mechanic. I want to see if I check this in. But like think of a simple mechanic like telling green guy to go to a spot, drop a grenade, and run back. Think of that just that mechanic, like of telling him how to do that. And then you could do that with like a visual, because I was playing around with like visual programming languages. And So there was like some pretty cool visual programming languages. Did I save them? Was this one? Yeah, this was one. This was one. So, but it's very simple. Like this one, and we could make ours even more simpler, right? More simpler, more simpler, whatever. We can make ours easier to use because this is fairly complicated. But I love the way that this like snaps to each other. It has like little settings for each thing, and then you can change it. And so basically ours would be kind of the same kind of thing where we just kind of drag little things around, and I can envision a mechanic where like, okay, tell Green Guy to go to, and then you have a drop down for all the points, tell him to go to, and when he gets there, he quit. Like I can see all this in my head. Block programming. Yes. I like that. We were talking about putting programming into the game. Yes. And so you could have an advanced mode, right? Where actually you type out the scripting language. Like there's no reason you couldn't, but I think to make it more accessible to more people, you would have to have a more visual block programming element to it. I think it should involve a map. No? I would say yes and no, because I kind of feel like it has to be discoverable. So, and what I mean by that is because a map kind of allows you to cheat, right? So, and what I mean by that, where'd my marker go? Okay. So what I mean by that is, like, if this is the map, and then you start in this building here, well, you've never been over here. The player has never been over there, so how can you tell Green Guy to go over there if you've never been over there? And that's kind of what I'm getting at. So like I feel like a map just kind of gives you all the points. But maybe it's not, maybe that's okay though, because if you think about it in terms of a story, if my family lived on this island, then probably I have been to this point. So if these people live in the town, then they would know everything there is. Yeah. I kind of just came to that same conclusion. So you could have a map where you kind of just like point on things, right? Like, here. So you could have a mechanic that's like, let's think about the block programming, right? Like the most basic example is like go to, and then you would have a drop down with options, and then to kind of go like that programming thing, you had a little divot here. I guess this could go up. Why does that smell like an airplane? Oh my god, that smells so good. It smells like a plane. Hey, I gotta go downstairs for a second. I will, let me put the Be Right Back camera on. I will be right back. Give me a minute. don't worry. I'm back now. I'm back. All right. Oh, boy. Okay, where's Matthew? Why is Matthew not here? All right, let's see. Whiteboard. Chat whiteboard. Okay. All right. You could draw a path on the map. I don't know about the path. I feel like the path is a little overkill because literally you could have, like if the map's over here, point A, point B, point C, point D, you just have multiple of these, right? Go to, this would be A, go to B, go to C, go to D. So I don't know about the map. I think the map might be a little redundant. Oh my God, I'm looking at myself in the delay, right? Like, so I got my hair cut and I'm looking at my bald spot. Wow, I am so bald. Okay, anyway. Okay. So let's draw out in the block programming. Let's draw out telling green guy to go to a point, drop a grenade. So what that would be, so go to A, the other command would be equip grenade, and then somehow, I guess it would be used. Like if you had a grenade, remember these actions that we defined over here, right? So which of these actions would be pull a pin? I guess it would be use. Not necessarily. Wheel doesn't feel right. I would say use, but we could name it something else like primary action, right, or something like that. We'll just say use. So we've equipped the grenade. So use, and then equipped. Then drop, equipped, and I'm doing like a little cash symbol. And then here's another thing. I remember when I was looking at the programming language, like go to, and then you could have run to, run to B. Because maybe you started at B. So that's the whole point of telling green guy to go somewhere. But then it gets really complicated, because what if you want green guy to throw the grenade? Now you got to tell green guy which direction to throw the grenade. Okay, so we're building a string of actions, essentially. But but it doesn't have to be like a linear string, right? It could be like this little thing over here has conditionals. Like, let's see, we got this. Like, if on edge bounce, I have no idea what that is. But there was another one, I thought. Maybe that was the only one. Apparently, that was the one I bookmarked. That must have been the one I liked. All right, I went downstairs to heat up this hot dog. My buddy, I was feeling a little down today. I was feeling a little down yesterday. And so my buddy, he calls me last night. He was like, hey, man, you should come to, because he's a bartender. He's like, you should come to work. You should come to my work and get drunk. I'm like, no, I'm not feeling it. I was like, what's wrong? So I talked to him a little bit about what was wrong. A little bit. And he's like, and then I was just feeling really bad. So he says, oh, man, he has a young son. And he's like, yeah, me and Dashel, we'll come by tomorrow afternoon. We'll take you out. I didn't think he would, but he did. He took me out to lunch. And he bought me this Paris baguette. Went to Paris Baguette, which is not that far from where I live. So, But did you know that when I was away, I lost 15 pounds? 15 pounds just by not eating American food. That looks like a robot mouse programming environment. I mean, it is. That's what it's like. Do you remember as a kid, did you ever play around with, what was it called? Logo? Was it called Logo, or what was it called? Visual programming language is from the 80s. I mean, I think it's old. Not LabVIEW. For children. Logo. It was called Logo. I was right. Why did I doubt myself? Logo programming and browser. Let's see if that's... Let's see. Surely that exists. Surely somebody has made that. Logo interpreter. All right, what do we got? Oh, this is type your code. I don't want to type my code. Did I put it in here? Prototype plan, home map, gameplay. I'm pretty sure I checked this in somewhere. I guess I didn't. I taught a class for undergraduates doing maze solving with Legos and MIT Handyboard. Are you talking about, or do you mean logo, or like with actual Legos? Like with the little bricks, the Legos? How do you do maze solving with Legos? I would have to go downstairs because I typed out a bunch of this. Where did I put it? I am certain I checked it in. I guess I didn't. Lego Technics. Interesting. Sorry, I'm going to eat. I'm kind of hungry. No, move on. That was me, dummy. All right, so we've made absolutely no progress, and I still don't know what to work on. You're not helping me. Not sure. I feel like you're as spacey as I am, or like as ADHD, like can't concentrate. Maybe you're a little bit better, but I feel like you're just as distracted by life as I am. I'm really distracted tonight, boys. I am. But this hot dog's pretty good. Best cafe in the area is Ridgetop. I always go there and it makes me feel better. I know you live in Herndon. I don't know that I've ever been here. This is like very close to my house too. I don't know, man. That hot dog was pretty good. Let me finish chewing this and we'll get back to it. They have gigabit internet. I looked into getting gigabit internet. I looked into getting business Fios. And it was not insanely more than I pay now. It wasn't, but... Okay. I am so distracted. Wow. Sorry, I'm over here off screen, just completely distracted. We could do command list thing. Let's struggle. Let's struggle through that. No, I did that. That's the problem. All right, you know what? Fuck you guys. I'm gonna work on what I want to work on. I'm gonna work on what I want to work on. Screw you guys. I'm taking control of this ship. I'm doing. I think Verizon 500 megabits per second was $100 a month. Yeah, because I was looking at gigabit and it was about $180 a month. Excuse me. Where what I pay now is, I think I pay 110. That reminds me. You know what starts this week? I think it starts. Oh wait. I think it starts Thursday night. The NFL. Yes, sir. Cowboys and Eagles, Thursday night, September 4th at 8:20 p.m. Now, I don't care so much about that game as much as I care about my Commanders playing on Sunday, a week from yesterday. So in 6 days, my Commanders will be playing. They're playing the Giants. And here's the thing. The Giants sucked last year. I have no idea what any of these teams did on the offseason. I have a vague idea of what the Commanders did on the offseason, like a vague idea. Like, I believe they got like some new young wide receiver, and I think they got some new like defensive person, whatever. I honestly, I really don't know. But I think the Giants, who sucked last year, they supposedly improved quite a bit. They like, I saw something where like they made like all the right decisions in the offseason and they just did blah, 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 blah. And so what I'm scared of is the Commanders last year. Yeah. I think Not Sure is taking umbrage with me calling them the Commanders. I'm going to call them by the name that they should have always been all along, and the name that should have never changed. The Washington football team, they did exceptionally well. Like, they went to the playoffs last year. Like, they were one game away from the Super Bowl. Nobody expected them to do that. Nobody. It was an amazing season. Oh my God. There were there was 3 playoff games, right? Because there was the wild card, there was the divisional, and then I guess the playoff. And, I was in Tromsø, Norway for that. And I remember because it was like 6 hours ahead. And I would go to bed at like 9 o'clock, set my alarm so that I wake up at 2 in the morning, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning to watch the game. And, such a good offseason. I love the Washington football. I do too. I like the Redskins. Like, I get why people like it, but I'm not really granted, I grew up on them being the Redskins, and I sometimes will call them the Redskins when I don't think about, like, I'm just just out of like muscle memory, I'll call them the Redskins. But I loved the name Washington football team because it's like, I love names that tell you what the thing is, right? Like International Business Machines, IBM. Just like names that are American Telegraph and Telephone, AT&T. Like, I love names that are that tell you what they are in the name, right? And it's like, my argument always was like, am I a fan of the Commanders? What the hell is a Commander? Even the Redskins? Am I a fan of the Redskins? No, I am a fan of a football team. And a football team from where? From Washington. I am a fan of the Washington football team. Oh my God, it was the best name. Like, literally, I loved that name. I loved that name. Oh, but no, they're playing on Sunday. But then it kind of sucks because they play on Sunday, and then then the following game is that Thursday, I believe. The following Thursday. Yeah. They're playing the Packers. But my fear is, here's the thing about my fear. We're going to switch to a sports channel, to a sports stream for the time being. My fear is they're going to suck. Honestly, that's what I'm fearing the most here. I'm scared that I'm scared that the Giants are going to be, because I think they lost to the Giants last year, even though the Giants were a horrendously horrible team. I think they lost one game to the Giants. I don't remember exactly. Let's see. But my fear is that just that, because there's a ton of pressure on Jaden Daniels now, the quarterback, who, like, I still think that boy is too skinny. Like, he is literally like 130 pounds soaking wet. Like, he is so skinny. It is ridiculous. But, and so I'm just terrified that he's going to just like take one bad hit and boom, that's it in the career, like done. Because he's so skinny. Like, dude, put some muscle on. Like, get a little fat. Like, have a cheeseburger. Like, literally, have a cheeseburger. But but I can't. I wish they had gone with Drake May. Like, I like on the offseason before last year. I was like, they should pick Drake May, but they picked Jaden Daniels. But you know what? I can admit when I was wrong, or I don't even know that I was necessarily wrong. It's just that I can't complain about the choice they did make, because that choice has been amazing. And so, like, I want nothing but success for Jaden Daniels, but I fear that, like, I just feel like the team, not necessarily Jaden Daniels, I just have a fear that, like, the team is just going to blow this coming year. That's my biggest fear. I'm scared of that. I haven't followed football in forever. I remember seeing the quarterback headbutt the wall and he broke his neck. Did that happen? I mean, I believe it. I believe it. It wasn't a Redskins quarterback, though. Let me see. NFL QB headbutt wall break neck. Oh, maybe it was. I guess it was an old Redskins quarterback. Is this it? Okay. Oh, they're not going to show it? Oh, dear. Oh, dear. What, did he give himself a concussion?
Right here, Gus Farad. Yeah, I scored, and take that. Bangs his head into the wall, left for the hospital. Fast forward to 2001, Bill Grimm.
Gus Farad. So was he okay? I mean, it looks like maybe he just gave himself a concussion. Okay, 1971. Okay, so yeah, he after the Redskins, he played for the Lions. In November 1997, Farad sprained his neck by ramming his head into a padded cement wall during a touchdown celebration in a 7-7 tie against the Giants. Farad's season would end after breaking his hip against St. Louis in Week 13. Turner stated that a need for consistency and accuracy after... Okay, blah, 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 blah. All right, well, I'm glad to know he was okay. No, he actually broke his neck. Jesus Christ. Yeah, but I mean, it must not have been terrible, right? It must not have been too bad if he went on to play with, like, the Lions, the Broncos, the Bengals, the Vikings. What has he done in retirement? He currently works at Game Plan Consulting, which helps high school athletes select a college. In 2011, Farad announced he would be taking over as head coach of John Burroughs School in St. Louis. His team were runners-up in the state championship. And in 2017, Farad joined the Carolopolis, Pennsylvania-based startup RC21X. That's a horrible name. Now, remember what I was saying about names that tell you what the things are? Like, I look at the name RC21X. Like, what is that is that a new Terminator model? Like, that's what I see. Like, when they're like, oh, it's the new Terminator model. Yeah, like Arnold Schwarzenegger 2.0. No, but he started at this RC21X startup as vice president of brain health initiatives. That's a little ironic. The company developed a cloud-based tool for monitoring brain performance. Farad also served as a brand ambassador for the film. For the film? What film? Farad also serves as brand ambassador for the film. Oh, for the firm. Okay, for the firm. What the hell is RC21X? Okay, so it's some football thing. No, it's not. Oh, is it like helmets? Okay, anyway, we're getting... Focus. Focus, boys. Focus. I have a very simple goal. And it's actually not so simple though. Okay. We're going to focus. Just bear with me. We're going to focus, okay? Actually, before I do anything, what I want to do is I want to go over here. Okay, we can go back to master. We can branch from master. Uppity doobity. Okay, uppity doobity. Okay, that's the branch we're going to be working on. Uppity doobity. This should ask me if it wants to reload. It wants to ask me if it wants to reload. It's going to reload. Reload. How long you been divorced? Not sure. How long have you been divorced? Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to have the NPCs attack. I haven't merged from master in forever. That's not what I asked you. I know. Okay. Actually, this is bothering me. So surely I can have the NPC facing, or I can have the, let me see. Works. Okay, that's a much better way to start. I don't know why it's backwards, but we'll start. 15 years. Jesus Christ, how old are you? You're in your 40s, I believe. I remember you saying. So let's say you're 45, which means you got divorced when you were 30. Okay, I mean, I guess that's reasonable. How long were you married? Okay. Okay. I think that's a much better starting point than just staring at the wall. Is staring 2 R's or 1 R? I think it's 1 R. I was married for less than a year. Wow. Well, how long were you together? If you're married, like how long did you, like, obviously you knew each other before you got married, I would hope. So how long had you dated before you got married? I don't know. Okay. We dated for like 2 years before. Come here, boy. Come here. Mulan, I'm not taking you outside right now. 2 years. All right. You ever hear from Mrs. Not Sure? You ever talk to the Mrs. I mean, I know you don't have kids, so you ever talk to the ex Mrs. Not Sure? Just curious, or is it like I hate that woman. I want nothing to do with her. She could be burning in hell right now, and I don't care. Now I'm going through something right now. I'm definitely going through something. What was this icon? What is this? Open editors. Oh, okay. No, that's a new icon. Nope, she's dead to me. Oh, okay. Well, all right. Did she cheat? Is that what it is? And no disrespect. The only reason I ask that is usually when it's like that visceral, at least for me, like when it's that visceral, it usually involves like cheating. Like it usually involves cheating. I mean, because like we've all been cheated on, right? Like there's that that's just a fact of life. Like, I mean, we've all been cheated on. I did feel kind of bad. I had a girlfriend years ago, and I remember like we got together, and so first of all, She's like, it's like our second or third date, but we kind of knew that we liked each other. Like we hadn't actually like, like we hadn't done that, but like we knew we liked each other, and we knew we were like, just sometimes you can just tell, and you can tell like right away, like you're very compatible. And so I think by the second or third date, we both knew that we were headed towards a relationship, because we both wanted a relationship. So we both knew we were headed towards a relationship. And then, but she asked me, she's like, have you ever cheated on a girlfriend? And I was like, yeah. I mean, I was honest. I was like, yeah, I have. And so then of course I returned the question. And this is a prime example of the psyche of a woman. So I asked her, I said, well, have you ever cheated on a boyfriend? And her answer was something to the extent of, well, I'm sure he would consider it cheating. I'm sure he would consider it cheating. I'm sure. So that's just a way of saying yes. That's the answer. Yeah, it is such a female answer. And like her argument was that they weren't having sex, so therefore she was a sexual person and needed/wanted sex, so she was required to have sex, and so she found sex, and then and that was what. But in her mind, it wasn't cheating, I guess, because he wasn't fulfilling some need, but so she should not feel guilty for getting that need fulfilled elsewhere. I think that was her logic of thinking. Not sure. Okay. All right. Not sure. Oh, sorry. I'm just trying to like get a perspective, but that's all right. We don't have to talk about it. But that was her thinking, was like, oh, well, I'm sure he would consider it cheating. And I was like, oh, because it was cheating. Is that why? Is that why? But she would brag about how like, I've never had a boyfriend that cheated on me. Like, I've never had a boyfriend that cheated on me. No, I never had a boyfriend that cheated on me. Yep. Well, we're not together anymore. I'm just all over the place. I'm glad Not Sure is the only one here, because I'm all over the place on this. Why? I think my dog needs to go poop. You know why? You're going to have to hold it for like another half hour, and then we'll go on a WALK. Come here. Come here. I think we might end this stream short tonight. Now that I've got Not Sure in a down mood, and I'm in a kind of a down mood. Okay. But we are going to have a plan for Wednesday night. You know what? We might even stream tomorrow night, because again, there's no wife. No wife is home. I'm alone. I got nothing else to do. I think. All right. No. Let's see what we can pound out really quick. All right. So when we fire, I cannot concentrate. Okay. How do we? I know there's a take damage call. I've driven away my only listener by asking too personal questions, by asking questions that were too personal. NPC shooter. Is this it? Okay, let's just start something. You got a good point. Okay, what I want to do is I want to have the NPCs, I want them, so this, I think we talked about this the last time, but this is tricky because I want them to attack when they're shot, but that means that they need to know what they're attacking, which means that they need, well, first of all, they need to know that they've been shot, right? So what I was thinking originally was when they get shot, because like right now, these guys, like if they're just like in the idle mode, right? They're in the idle state, enemy idle state. Maybe they go into a scan state, but I feel like the scan state is the idle state. So another way we could do it. Okay, I have an idea. So when they get shot, they should be able to know from which direction the shot came. So what we can do is we can have them focus on a coned area, like, right, like within a certain, like, here's the guy, and then I'm over here, and I shoot. Let's say he's looking over here. This is the cone area, but then now he knows he's looking over here, so he's gonna look at a specific area over there. So what we can do is we can change his attention to the direction from which the shot came, and then we can also extend the area a little bit, because the way that we do the detection now, this do scan function, I don't even know how the do scan function works. It's been so long. Let's see. Entity scanner. So we have view distance, view angle, eye offset. What is view angle? No. I need to look at this differently. So let's look at it from top down, right? That's what we need to do. Let's look at this from top down. Okay, so we look at this from top down. So, and then I'm over here. And then if he's scanning here, and like, let's say he's just going back and forth between this. So his head's going back and forth looking in this little area. I shoot from here, so he should be able to turn and look in this area. Okay, let's try that. Because I think that's what's happening now. Let's run it. Let's run it. Okay. Wait a minute. My genius, the genius is at work. The genius is at work. God, look how bald my head is. All right. Okay. So look, I can pick up the gun, and then he's not even looking in this direction. See, so look at his head. Look at his eye, how it's like going back and forth. It's because he's literally just scanning, right? And so if I shoot, what should happen is he should look at the direction, and if he sees me, he should then enter the attack state. So what we can do, but I gotta remember what view angle is. I don't remember exactly how view angle works. Let's see. Because I think view angle is important to this. My dog needs to go to the bathroom. He's going to have to wait. I can't disappoint Not Sure. He's my only listener. Matthew's not even here tonight. Can't disappoint him. Okay. I feel like he should all react to a gunshot. Yes. So I feel like I feel like they should all react to a gunshot, and I agree. And actually, you know what? So remember, we have this whole freaking like personality system built into everything where like they can get scared and lose trust and everything. But I remember doing a callback. There's a callback. If there's a gunshot, there is a callback. NPC shooter. Audio source, start coroutine. Where's the callback? If we could find that callback, that actually makes things a bit easier. Yes, the building will be on lockdown. Okay, on gunfire invoked. I don't know why I commented it out, though. Let's see. Fire array effect, NPC shooter. So that's when the NPC shoots. What about the player? Added a pistol item that does damage to NPC. Pistol interaction. So let me uncomment this. Okay. Oh, it's completely... Ooh, excuse me. NPC shooter. This is the pistol interaction. How would we do that? So basically any pistol, I don't know if I like that design though. So basically any gun in the game would have a callback such that when it is fired, I guess it makes sense, such that when it is fired, this callback gets called. So, but the way that I originally implemented it is not good. The way that I originally implemented it was like, hey, a gunshot was fired. Hey, we don't know anything about the gunshot, but it was fired. I think what we need to do is we need to attach some info to it. So, let me see. We got to do... Where is action? Where is that defined? Quick fix. Using system. Okay. Okay. But how do we do... Let me see. So what we want is we want the location of the... I think that actually just the location of the gunshot is fine. Man, but then you could have potentially a lot of callbacks happening, and that might bog the system down. But let's go with it. Let's try. Let's not try to fix a problem we don't know we have yet. So let's see. And this is where AI can help me. Fire a callback that gives the location of the gunshot. Vector 3. Okay, perfect. Okay. I couldn't remember how to actually do the definition. Is that right? I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right. Let's not optimize too soon. Exactly. Right? We can, like I said, don't try to fix a problem you don't know you have. How would this look? Okay, so I passed the vector. Okay. So what has the location here? Default rotation, attack, pistol item data, audio source, main camera. Why do we have the main camera in here? Oh, okay, because the camera is what has to draw it. The line renderer, the fire point. This transform. I think that's what I want right here. So, but I don't remember what the actual, let me see, vector 3? Position. Okay. That sounds good to me. That sounds reasonable. Okay. Okay, let's see. Ow! This does get difficult, though. Because the NPC object needs to have a reference to this pistol interaction. And how do we even make that happen? What is NPC shooter? I normally have comments at the top. Why? What is this? Okay. All right, we're gonna cut this stream short. I'm sorry, not short. This was a crappy stream. I apologize for the. I strive to bring you a better experience in this, but my dog is driving me absolutely nuts, and I'm not really feeling it. I've been really down. I've been really, really down, like contemplating like some stuff, like some heavy stuff. And this dog is driving me fucking crazy. Fucking crazy. We're going to work on this tomorrow night or Wednesday night. we're going to be focused. We're going to laser focus in on this. This is what we are going to accomplish. We are going to accomplish at least having the NPC react. We don't know what that reaction will be, but the NPC will react by the end of the next stream. You have the Addy guarantee on that, which means nothing, but that's okay. Sorry I brought everybody down. Yeah. All right, boys. You guys have a great night. Not sure, have a great night, and I'm undecided about tomorrow night, but we'll see. But if not, Wednesday night for sure. I'll see you then. Bye, guys.